say great job, Jeff. It's such a pleasure meeting you, and
Thank you.
congratulations for making such a warm and intense film at the same time. I was at the premiere last night, and you gave such a great speech, so congratulations.
Appreciate you saying it. Thank you.
Can you talk about this amazing cast that you assembled together? And I understand that you have worked with many of these actors in the past.
Yeah, well, Joel and I made a film called Midnight Special together that actually was released earlier this year in March, and so he and I were friends. But oddly enough, when we were making that film, I already had Ruth cast in the part of Mildred. Ruth was the first person that we auditioned for this film. Francine Maisler, my casting director, brought her in. I wasn't familiar with her work, but she just nailed it. She had studied the documentary, she'd studied the real Mildred, and she had a character fully built by the time I met her.
Wow.
So that decision really wasn't a decision. It was just me accepting this luck that fell into my lap of Ruth Negga. With Joel, we'd been working on this project, and I just love the guy, and I saw that he had this amazing facility with accent and voice, and that if I could give him the examples that I had of Richard from all this footage, that he could really embody this character.
And speaking of Joe, I understand that his character did not like the attention and avoided the controversy. So how do you describe his reluctance to push for his rights at the time, in the early 60s?
I think this was the type of man that he was. It reminded me very much of my grandfather. I would sit for hours with my grandfather, and he might say 5 words to me.
Really?
But that didn't mean he wasn't feeling things. That doesn't mean he didn't have opinions about things. It just meant he didn't always have the ability to enunciate them. And that's where I put Richard in my mind, as a man that could feel and understand situations. Tell the judge I love my wife is such a beautiful simplification and reduction of a very complex situation. He understood that, but he wasn't always able to come up with the words. And I think the spotlight itself was a pretty crushing thing for him. He just wanted to go to work every day, lay bricks, make money to provide for his family, and go home and take care of his wife and kids.
Protect his family.
This is who this man was. So I don't think it's that he actually didn't want to stand up for his beliefs. I think the way he stood up for his beliefs was that he stayed married to his wife. He could have divorced her, but he didn't.
Right, which
And
some of his friends recommended that.
Absolutely, and that's a statement.
Right. Easy way out for him if he wanted to.
Yes.
And of course, race is such an important topic in today's society. Do you hope that Loving can provoke more discussion in our society right now?
Absolutely. I think we should look to Richard and Mildred to show us how to have conversations about equality, because they just remind us of the people at the center of all these debates. And they're such graceful people. They didn't have an agenda. They weren't trying to force you to feel something or think something. They just wanted to do something for themselves, live for themselves. And that's a great reminder. It's a great reminder when we get so heated about all these topics. Just think about the people.